Hey guys, this is the fourth Sports with Dylan, and in the past week there hasn't been any major sports news headlines, so I'll be going over a couple of interesting things that have been happening lately in the sports world. But first, this was a deal with one of my friends. I'm sure some of you that know me quite well will be able to guess which friend. I'm going to tell you about a rising hockey team, the Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators are a rising hockey team with lots of potential, and Brady Tkachuk and Thomas Chabot are top 50 NHL players. They're just stuck on a rebuilding NHL team. And I think that in the next century, the Senators might be able to contend for the playoffs. So, a couple of days ago, Le'Veon Bell came out on Twitter and basically said that he would rather retire than play for Andy Reid again, and he's never going back to Kansas City. Which is very interesting. I'll get to more of that later. But then the next day he writes, I said what I said, and I don't regret at all what I said. For those of you who have a personal problem with me because of what I said, that's fine. You have your right. Just understand I also have my right for how I feel about my personal problem with the dude because of what he said to me. So then later that day he writes, never did I say I didn't enjoy my time in KC because I loved my time there. And it was probably the closest locker room full of players I've ever been around. I enjoyed my teammates, the city, the food, the fans, just about everything in KC. Then later that day he writes, I'm not about to go into depth about why I feel the way I feel, but I do have the right to feel the way I feel. I'll admit that's something I could have and should have kept to myself, and I apologize about that and only. But I don't regret what I said because that's how I feel. So you can give me love or hate me, but I'm going to be fine regardless. I'm just giving you a small version from what my point of view on why I said what I said. So, very interesting. Now, I'd just like to point out that Le'Veon Bell hasn't been signed yet. He was signed mid last season by the Kansas City Chiefs to help out rookie Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And he played well. He took more snaps and had more yards than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He played way better until the playoffs, and they kind of just stuck Clyde Edwards-Helaire in 90% of the snaps kind of thing. But, it's quite interesting, because most players give such positive reviews about Andy Reid. And now he's coming out and saying a bad thing. I mean, he's 29 years old, and he's getting beat up more, even though he did quite well this year. I'm beginning to think, let's say you're a team that might need a running back to help them. Let's say the Falcons, because they desperately need a running back right now. And, he could help out I forget their lead running back's name currently, but he could help out him until the ladder gets better. But now you're thinking, wait, this he sat out with the Steelers his last year because he wanted a restructured contract. A better contract, not worse, like most players when they restructure their contract. Then he was traded to the Jets, where he got annoyed and requested a trade. They end up just releasing him. You can understand that one. Because the Jets are terrible. He wants to win. Adam Gase was the coach. We all know Adam Gase is terrible. But still, now he's going to a good team. When he signed with them, they're the defending Super Bowl champs. And now he's not happy with that team either. So the Falcons, for example, might be thinking, we don't want him. He's just probably going to sit out or something with us. Because that's 3 teams in 3 years. All 3 he's been unhappy with. So, yeah, getting to be a bit suspicious. Now, he did actually, as you saw, he apologized, but then he did actually remove the original tweet he wrote. But of course, as you guys will know, once you put something on the internet, even for a second, someone's going to see it. And when you're that famous and it's interesting headline, what he said, then it's definitely getting out there. And of course, he didn't take it down after 1 second. For the last topic of the day, I'm going to speak about Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore, the Patriots' star cornerback, officially requested a trade. Now, this has been a long time coming. People thought last year he's going to be traded. So, now he says he'll hold out unless he gets a new contract or is traded to a new team. Now, quite interesting, Stephon Gilmore played for the Bills for a number of years. He's never amazing. Then he joined Bill Belichick, and he became a star, like so many other players. So, yeah, I can see why he'd want to be traded. I mean, Patriots now added quite a few weapons, but still, going to be a couple more years. Now, he has won multiple Super Bowls, so it's not like he needs to win a Super Bowl ring. But he also deserves a better contract, to be honest. Because, he's 31, which is quite old for a cornerback, and yet he's still the second best in the league. So, yeah, maybe the Patriots would be a bit hesitant to sign him to a new contract, because, as I said, he's 31. But second best cornerback in the league, only behind Jalen Ramsey. So, yeah, I can see why he'd need a new contract. His contract's quite old, and at the time he signed for only $10 million, because that was high for cornerbacks back then. But now Jalen Ramsey's making way more. Now, I could see Stephon Gilmore going to a number of teams. Mainly the Cardinals, to be honest. They definitely need a new cornerback, especially after losing Patrick Peterson. And this is the perfect person. And if they got him, it would be amazing to see the Cardinals. Even though I'm a Seahawks fan, I like the Cardinals, partly because I like J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins, both from the Texans, who I used to like. Anyways, it would be fun to see them. I think they could be, most people are considering them the worst in their division now, because you've got the 49ers, great defense, and young new quarterback who could be amazing, don't really know. Rams, who were 10-6 this year, now they have Matthew Stafford. Seahawks, now they're going, they got worse. So it could be some people say the Cardinals are better than the Seahawks. But if you gave the Cardinals an amazing cornerback, then the Cardinals could get 11-5, I could see them. Or 11-6 this year. Well, yeah, couldn't see them going 12-5. Cardinals is the main team. There's not many other teams that desperately need a new cornerback. And the Cardinals are actually, they actually have a shot at making the playoffs. I like a lot of those teams. For example, the Falcons probably aren't going to make the playoffs. Plus, their whole defense is terrible. The one other team I can think of is the Cowboys. Because basically everyone had them taking Patrick Surtain. But then the Broncos came and took him right before. One bit before. So close, Cowboys. Then they traded down, which obviously meant that they probably wanted him. Because right away after they traded down a couple spots. Then they came out with linebacker Micah Parsons, who, ironically, I thought the Broncos would trade down to get. Micah Parsons is still quite good. Anyways, so the Cowboys need another cornerback who's quite good. That's why everyone thought they would take Patrick Surtain. But I could see them going for Stephon Gilmore, who's young, not young, but like the roster is pretty young. Some of it's older, but he could be in there for a couple of years. Maybe next year they'll draft a new cornerback who can learn behind Stephon Gilmore a bit, and then take over as Stephon Gilmore retires. That's my opinion. Anyways, that is Sports with Dylan for today. See you next time on, Sports with Dylan.